Back to TEDx Honolulu Behind the Scenes and Beyond the Talk. Today I'm going to be your host along with Genesis Leong. And we have our guest today, Gabriel Yanagihara, who actually goes by Mr. Y.
for good reason. Yeah.
And Gabriel is going to be our second or third speaker that we've had on this series, where we are interviewing our speakers, our volunteers, and then also participants in our TEDx Honolulu events. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, so we usually start off our segments by actually just kind of hearing a little bit about how much our participants love TEDx.
Yeah, it was such a fun experience for me. Like just the entire experience of, I mean, that was my first real public speaking event ever. So maybe like high school I could have done like a book report or something, but that was my first like in front of a crowd.
What a leap!
It was a good leap. It was like, you know, throwing the lion cub down the hill, see how it went. And it worked out really good. It was a lot of fun. It was a great learning experience. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So do you have a particular TED Talk that got you interested in TED?
I watched a ton of TED Talks. I think one of my starter ones, there's one by Seth, I cannot remember his last name, but he did talk about gamification. Mm-hmm. Gamification is a big passion of mine, so I love that. I also love Jane McGonigal's talk on, I think it was gaming, it was like game psychology, game traits, like that kind of stuff. So she has a bunch. She did two actual TED Talks, which I thought was kind of unusual.
Yeah. I'm actually really intrigued at how much probably gaming is covered more and more, or at least featured more and more, and probably
I think
TED.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it comes.
Though I'm very biased, of course.
You're definitely biased. But it really does come back to what TED really was founded and stands for: technology, entertainment, and design. And so gaming is a perfect fit.
And I think with gamification also, it's just not within one area, but now it's becoming embedded into so many industries. So with education, such as yourself, or even on a corporate level, or whatever the case is, it seems that gamification has taken a whole other level than just playing video games, what we're kind of used to. So it's really nice to see that, and that's really something that you were able to do, and it seems that that's kind of your mission at Lolani. Yeah. And so how did you get involved with gamification?
So I started playing video games very young. So I was like, Command and Conquer, Windows 95 stuff. So I always had a passion for it. And then as it came along, I went off to college. I got my animation and game design degree. And then from there, I just started my own company. I just wanted to I always knew I wanted to work in video games. I wanted to play in video games. I wanted to do that. So it was kind of a natural fit.
That's good.
It worked out good.
Yeah. And here in Hawaii, tell me a little bit more about, I guess, the gaming community here. Mm-hmm. Is it a pretty tight niche of people?
There's actually a surprising large number. I haven't even met a large portion of them.
That's so good.
But it's great because everyone has like their own little project going on. We have a lot of great people working with Minecraft. Actually, I'm going to be doing a panel with Douglas Kiang of Punahou and nice. Shane Asante of Momelani Elementary. And then they're both, all three of us do Minecraft in our education, in our classes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really, really fascinating. Actually, we at TEDx, we've partnered with some of the local schools as well, where they have the TED Ed events. So it seems like, TED is kind of woven throughout all of the gaming and sort of also attempting to connect the similar communities.
Yeah.
And we had, a few weeks ago, Quincy Solano has a esports Hawaii Foundation. They were a nonprofit fiscal sponsors. So it's really nice to kind of see that gaming in Hawaii and to have you a part of it also.
And so when you talk about your favorite TED Talk, I keep going back to TED.
It seems like it's a theme for today.
Were there elements that resonated with you that maybe also connect to the talk that you gave at our event, our Paradigm Shift event this year?
One of the great things, I know so many really passionate people working on amazing projects, but we're all kind of like in our own little social boxes, working on our own projects, have our head down to the grindstone, like working on our stuff. So we don't really get a chance to go talk and experience all these other ideas, which can really have a profound effect on what you're working on individually, right? So for that was it for me for TED Talks, right? When I went there, I talked to like a lawyer, I got to talk to Shane, the photographer. It was fun. I got to experience a whole bunch of ideas, a whole bunch of people super passionate working in their fields that I never would have met otherwise. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's actually, I'm so glad that Genesis is here, our license holder, because I think that you do such a great job in picking out these inspiring and really like game-changing or paradigm shifting ideas worth spreading. So it's really, really fantastic to have an event where you have those just coming together, melding together.
Yeah, and if you have any questions for us or for Gabriel as well, feel free to tweet us. We're online at ThinkTech Hawaii or HI.
ThinkTech HI.
At ThinkTech High. Any questions that you have for any of us or for Gabriel as well?
So I'm actually curious about how you were compelled to make TEDx Honolulu your first public speaking event. How did you get there?
Well, of course, I was always interested in TED events. I had gone to a couple TED Talks here in Hawaii, like the TEDx events here in Hawaii. And then when the opportunity arose that there's an opportunity, I finally had a cool project I wanted to share. It finally was like, this is something that's, it's something that the average person, the average viewer, the average person would get some benefit out of. Not just like, if I do like some high level like programming, video game talk, it's only gonna be useful to other video game players. But the Minecraft workshops and the Minecraft experience was something that everyone with a kid can attest to, right? Because I mean, Minecraft's like a juggernaut right now, right? And it works well. So that was like, okay, we have a cool idea. Here's a venue for it, and then let's just see what happens. So it worked out really well. It was a lot of fun.
It's so neat, and I am a bit ashamed to admit, but I still haven't played Minecraft.
We get to fix that. We're going to fix that. Yeah, I'll have. You can audit my second grade class, and that's going to be the intro one. So you can come sit in.
I would love to, actually. That's a deal. That's a deal. I know, it was so funny in listening to your TED Talk. You mentioned a handful of, I guess, web platforms or different programs or websites that your students will go to that help them to design and develop their projects.
So it goes into, the whole idea is that the kids are teaching themselves Minecraft, which, on the surface is a very simple game, but a lot of the skills needed at the higher level of gameplay. Our kids, second graders, third graders, they're going out, they're researching, they're teaching themselves stuff, and none of this is not something parents or teachers have taught them, so they taught themselves. So the whole premise of it was kind of like, well, I want to know how they did it, right? So then I explored it and found, some cool little tidbits here and there. For the most part, we all got to play Minecraft. It was a lot of fun.
So I'm sure that you've learned something from your students also.
Oh, yes, all the time. Like every day they come in, they said, because I'm one person, so I can ingest maybe 3 hours of video a day, and then I can have 150 students, they ingest 3 hours of video a day each, and then they just funnel all of that information into like a never-ending stream of, Mr. Y, look at this, Mr. Y, look at this. I saw this YouTube video, and they were like, exploding, creepers out of a cannon and everything. There's so much crazy stuff that they can teach me. And that desire for them to tell their story and their knowledge with me to teach the teacher is kind of like that really interesting shift that I see. So instead of me having like all the barriers, like all the facts and knowledge, like I know the answer and I will dispense it to you 5 minutes at a time over the course of a year, it's kind of changing now where it's kind of like a whirlwind of just all the information at once coming at you, and you got to help the kids filter through it.
So that's your paradigm shift.
That's my shift, yes. So I do not have an answer key in my classroom, and the grading is just by rubric, and we just see where it goes.
Nice. And I think, so when we talk about TED, it stands for Technology, Entertainment, Design, and really what that is the purpose was to bring together these industries and how can we learn from each other or work with each other in one way or another. And it seems like you've been able to do that. You've been able to merge industries together. Do you think that something like this could be used in other industries, or do you think that this could be some type of learning that can be done somewhere else here in Hawaii?
Well, one thing I saw about this, so the model for this learning kind of came from my own company. So it's already active, it's already out there. It's just bringing it into the school systems, into like the classroom setting where, you know, there are much different challenges in a classroom setting than in a work environment.
Right.
So in a work environment, I can have people I'm working with saying like, okay, new 3D software came out, we all gotta learn it. Let's just all sit down together, watch YouTube videos, figure it out together.
That
kind
sounds
of thing,
like
right?
fun.
So it's like there's
And
no
that's work.
Yeah, there's no textbook for a lot of the tech industry stuff. So there's not a
Nice.
textbook of here's how do you do it. We kind of just got to figure it out as we go. So modeling that in the classroom is kind of what we're doing, especially here at Lolani at the Sullivan Center. A lot of the instruction going on now is kind of shifting away from, we have the textbook, we have all the answers, and the answers are going to come to you, you know, 3 questions at a time, as opposed to, hey, okay, we're going to build a drone this year, and you 7th and 8th graders are going to fly it. And my coworker Martin did that with the students, so they just figured it out. It's like, okay, we're going to have a drone. There's a YouTube video. There's online resources. Let's just make a drone.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, so definitely something to just like re-spark people's minds, and it seems like that critical thinking component to it is so important to be used not just in school, but it's like a life learning skill to have. Yeah, really nice to hear that. Yeah.
So have you had your students watch your TED Talk?
I have not assigned it yet. I haven't even assigned it for extra credit yet.
That's a homework
but
assignment.
That is a wonderful idea. I think the one fun part that would happen if I had them watch my TED Talk, I guarantee you I would come in the next day, they would correct everything I said wrong up on stage. They're like, Mr. Wyatt, I know how many blocks high that was. That was not that, or that kind of thing. So that would be a learning experience for me, but maybe I don't want to learn that lesson just yet. I'll let them find it on their own.
So did you have any of your students attend actually this year's event?
I'm not sure. I didn't get to check. Yeah.
I bet there were probably people from Iolani. I know that there were a handful of folks from Kamehameha Schools where I work. Yeah, and so I think that TED just is really open to so many different people within the community. It's a sort of gathering place. Like some of our prior guests, we had the Fringe Festival join us. We've spoken with some of our other volunteers and other elements, and it's just so diverse.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can be that you can use to reach out to so many different types of people in so many different industries. And what I love about it is that you learn something new each time. You're like, okay, I'm an expert in this area now, which couldn't be a problem. But yeah, and it was really great to have you on stage. Also, it was a really nice mix of speakers and topics, and that's really what we're aiming for, is to have a mix of different things that we can learn. And so I guess with the experience in maybe the TEDx Honolulu, were there any other speakers, or maybe like one other or 2 other speakers that you were just like so profound on what they said and you've learned so much more?
Oh, well, I won't
No name dropping.
I won't single anyone out, but I learned so much from everyone. Like, what my favorite thing was that I was no longer the expert in the room, right? I was just, one of many people. So I went, go up, you're the expert for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. And then as soon as you come back down, you're part of the crowd again.
Right.
You're one of the people who are listening and hearing in for everything.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. So I got to, hear all these new ideas. I never even thought about them, like the bike-powered electricity.
Yeah,
that was an
definitely.
awesome talk. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so after we go to this commercial break, we'll circle back and we'll talk a little bit more about your idea worth spreading.
Oh, thank you.
This is Alice Lee Hagan, host of ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show here at ThinkTech Hawaii is every Thursday from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I bring in interesting guests from Hawaii, the mainland, and hopefully international guests in the future. Do join us on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. Aloha.
Aloha, I'm Hunter Hevelin, host of Sustainable Hawaii here at ThinkTech Hawaii. You can tune in every week on Thursday at 2 p.m. to see interviews with sustainability professionals from around the state and even further abroad, learning about activities with water management, food security, waste management, and a whole host of other fascinating opportunities to get engaged with making a greener island. So if you're interested in making the transition from consuming individuals to communities of producers, check us out every Thursday.
Aloha and welcome back to TEDx Honolulu, Behind the Scenes and Beyond the Talk. We're here today talking with Gabriel Yanagihara, Mr. Y.
Yeah, perfect,
yeah.
I love it.
He's sharing with us about the TED Talk that he gave at our event this past March, our Paradigm Shift event. And we're actually excited to learn about your inspiration for your talk that you gave on gaming and educating with gaming.
So yeah, I mean, the talk itself was kind of just sharing that little experiment I got to run. I got a group of my students, and I wanted to see how they were learning Minecraft without any teacher or parent instruction. So we kind of ran that experiment, and I just watched them. I tried to see what they were learning, how they did it, and we did that with the story of the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage. So we took that self-directed learning thing, so that things, they teach themselves how to play Minecraft. And we got them together, we made a big list of all the different ways that they learn how to play, and then we used that same list to research another topic. So it was a fun little experiment. It was kind of like a side pet project, and since then it's kind of expanded a bit.
So I love the fact that you were checking to see if your students had memorized answers or if they had actually gone out and experimented and explored on their own. I thought that was just a really, really awesome way of teaching. And
well, that's just one thing. Like even me, like when I was growing up doing all my AP stuff, we'd cram, memorize it, and then 2 weeks later, I have no memory of anything that I'd learned. But with the Minecraft stuff, I mean, just the test of implementing it, right? So the Hawaiian history one, instead of like, read this book on Hawaiian history, take an exam, and then if you answer all the answers right, that means you know Hawaiian history, right? But if they go out and explore it and they experience it firsthand, talk to people, do the reading as well, but then to show that they actually internalized it, they were able to rebuild an actual, scale model, working model of an hupua'a in Minecraft. So they were able to make it, and then that was the whole thing, is that to show that they actually internalized their learning, they had to show and present it, not just, how many islands are in Hawaii, what year did they show up, that kind of stuff.
so were there things that you wish you had shared during your TED Talk? I mean, it's such a limited amount of time.
I think I would have loved to share the students' reactions, like just the video feed of just like the kids, I've never seen a class like that where they're just yelling for, look what I learned, look what I learned, look what I learned. And then it's not just at the teacher, I want adult verification. It's more like, pulling their friend over, pointing at the screen, like, look, we made this, and this is from this, I learned it from here, and then sharing that with each other, which is, I've never seen that before, so that was really cool.
Yeah, and so I guess maybe going back to what Minecraft is, because we know, we're not professionals at it, except for you. But maybe
not getting there.
Getting there. Should give you the official title. But maybe like a few sentences of summarizing what Minecraft is.
Okay, so essentially Minecraft is the younger generation's digital Lego. So when I was growing up, I had a big tub of Legos, and that, if you bought at retail, like I got it through garage sales and stuff, but if you bought that retail, that'd be like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Definitely.
But now we have Minecraft. Education license is like $14. And then you have billions. You have an entire world made entirely of those blocks that you can build and create and design with. And there's a whole like gamification layer. There's a whole game layer on top of it. But essentially, it's just a building block world, a virtual world that you can build anything you want in.
And is this for all ages, do you say?
Yeah, all ages, like 1 through 100. So. Because they have it on the iPad too. So as young as the kid can touch an iPad, they can start moving around and placing a block, and then spell out their name or make a shape, or and all the way till when you're much older and you're still you're trying to learn computer skills, and word processing may not be the most entertaining way of doing that. Just play Minecraft for a little while. You'll get really good at the mouse.
Right.
Yeah.
So Minecraft, I guess, is kind of like a mix of architecture, engineering, and even just like artistic skills as well, kind of wrapped up in a very fun game to do.
Yeah, and the fun is the most important part. It's just the fact that they enjoy it. So 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, like if Minecraft ever falls out of popularity, we'll just find a new game. We're like, what is pulling their passion at the time, right? back in my day, it was pogs, right? So if any
Right.
teacher,
Yay.
like, you remember those pog things?
remember
If
the
any
pog.
teacher found a way to make a lesson plan using pogs, we would have paid attention,
Right.
like just eyes glued to the board, like
So true.
how do we make our pogs flip? What are the physics? Teach me the physics of how to make the pog flip
Yes.
for that kind of thing. Now it's like teach me the physics on how to make my Minecraft world amazing, right? So it just changes with the times and it changes with the interests of the kids.
And one of the things that I found really fascinating or interesting about your talk was that you said something very, very similar, that you were using Minecraft because it had more viewers on YouTube than
More than the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah, or something along those
Couple
lines.
billion viewers. I
Yes.
don't know the number offhand because I had to research that one, but it was a staggering amount of time spent watching
Yes.
videos. And what's great is the kids, so the people who make the videos on YouTube, so they do live streaming, they do episodic stuff, but those are like the cool older brother who still wants to hang out with you all the time. Can you imagine that?
Right.
An older sibling who still makes, who makes fun kid jokes and wants to hang out with you every day. Like that's an amazing, like it's like a superpower. So you can use it for good, and he does a lot of educational stuff as well.
Yeah, so I was curious if I assume that you will evolve in terms of like what tools you use for teaching or what method. So you have Minecraft now, but it sounded like you're so equipped or nimble in your thinking and how you're approaching educating, so that at least you're kind of always scanning to see what's out there and what's next.
Because a good rule of thumb is if I'm not having fun, the kids aren't going to be having fun, right?
Right.
So if I get tired of Minecraft and I've clocked 4,000 hours or something, like if it gets absurd and I start being like, okay, this is becoming a problem, like I'm not enjoying this anymore, I'll find something new. There's going to be something new, something fun to play. I mean, one thing I'm really interested in is the virtual reality tech that's coming out now. The Microsoft HoloLens is coming up with Minecraft, so that might extend it a couple
Wow.
years, right?
Wow.
So the HoloLens is a head-mounted display. It lets you see into, unlike the Oculus Rift, it lets you see, it's augmented reality instead of virtual reality. So that means I can build Minecraft in the real world on this desk right here.
That is so
So I'll
cool.
just be, placing
wow.
pinch pool. And they recently showed it at E3 like a week ago.
Wow, what is it? What is the E3?
E3 is a conference for electronics and gaming and everything. So all the new tech stuff coming out. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little in awe right now. So yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a whole bunch of new tech stuff. There's another game, an indie game. So this is one guy or a small group of guys called Besiege, which is a game kind of like back in the day. You know those Connect blocks. So they're kind of like a mix between Legos and Lincoln Logs, and you kind of snap them together to build shapes. Someone builds something like that from medieval theme, but then at the same time you build that to complete a challenge. So I want to see if they can create an educational version of that tool, and that would be cool because it's like the robotics. So it's like digitizing Legos. So Minecraft is digitizing Legos, but the Besiege might be digitizing robotics, which would be really cool. Like instead of doing battle bots in real life, you can do battle bots in a video game, which would be really cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And I think what I really liked about your talk that really kind of blew me away is the fact that you're not just teaching video games, right, and teaching period, but also integrating cultural kind of values and experiences into this, and something that we're all familiar with, and I feel like that brings in another whole component to the way that you're teaching, because not only that you're teaching them something innovative and different in a unique way, but now it's also something that they're familiar with and they're tied to. So maybe talk a little bit more about that, because I know you did a little with the ukulele. I know we showed a picture of that also, but tell us a little bit more about that.
So, I mean, like I said in my talk, I'm not an expert in Hawaiian history by any means, but I'm really interested, right? And the students share that same interest, so we were able to kind of go on a voyage together with my students as we both learned about it. So when we had the idea of, okay, we want to hear the story of the ukulele and the worldwide voyage, and how did the hoopla, how was it formed, how was life like back then, and let's try to live like that in Minecraft. So let's try to recreate it, learn all the things about it, have fun with it, like get passionate about learning more. Because I mean, my workshop can be like 1 or 2 days, right? But if I can spark interest from there to further their interest, like they leave my class and then they go home and they look up on Wikipedia, they look up online, they go ask auntie, uncle, like, oh, so what was life like back then? I mean, what was it like? What stories can you tell me? So that passion, that desire for them to go learn more
Right.
is worth more than any instruction I could give them individually, right?
Right.
So I could sit them down and walk them through, here's what happened in BC.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna be boring. If I can get them like, oh look, we made the hokulea, that's awesome.
Right.
Go ask your uncle how that worked. Right,
Very
and then they're
cool.
gonna go home and they're good. Instead
They
of
wanna
yelling-
do homework,
yeah,
right?
Instead of yelling at me, they're gonna yell at their family members, and then they're gonna want to do homework. That's right.
Right.
They're gonna want to do the
Yeah.
homework. Yeah. And what's great is, so the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage was happening at the same time, so it was
Right.
a perfect tie-in
Right.
at the time for that. From there, like what's great about it is you can do that with any subject that you have passion in.
Right, that's true.
One of the other ones we do, so we do a whole series of workshops. So the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage was the first one, the first experiment. Since then, we've done civics and world government, which is we simulate in Minecraft every single type of world government that it is. Surprisingly, so the only thing I would change about that workshop is dictatorship worked really well in a fourth grade setting. For some reason, dictatorship worked really well, and the monarchy was the worst in that one because they had the king and the queen, and then they had like the parliament and everything,
Right.
and they're trying to run things and decide, okay, what are we gonna do in Minecraft? What are roads gonna be built out
Right.
of? What are houses? What are we gonna do with taxes and everything? And it was a mess. It was wonderful. They had a lot of time, but just I didn't realize how messy Parliament could be.
Right, yeah, right.
Before doing
Politics.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Game of Thrones.
That should be my next workshop. I should do Game of
goodness. Oh my
Thrones
goodness.
Minecraft workshop. I'm sure we'll have lots of parents eager to sign their kids up for that.
And what's really great about your classes too is that they get filled up quickly, actually. Yeah.
Yes, I need to clone myself. If any way to do that, I'll be more than happy to.
We could
to, you know,
we could like do a
cheek swab
Minecraft.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk a little bit more about how we could clone yourself, actually, after this commercial break.
Awesome, great.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I host Likeable Science on ThinkTech Hawaii, and I do this because I care about science literacy in Hawaii. I want to spread the understanding that science is a vital and interesting part of everyone's life. I want to make sure the broadest possible spectrum of people understand the beauty and the value of science and realize that science plays out each and every day of their lives. I want you to understand that science is fun. So we bring onto this show each week guests who are scientists, from astronomers to zoologists, and we talk about what they do and how they do it. But most importantly, we talk about why you should care about their work, why you should see that their work has value and impact on your life. So I hope you'll join us Fridays, 1 p.m. here on ThinkTech Hawaii. You can watch us via live stream. You can watch us recorded on Olelo, and you can see us each week. We hope you'll join us.
Aloha and welcome back to TEDx Honolulu Behind the Scenes and Beyond the Talk. We're here today with Gabriel Yanagihara, Mr. Y, and we're having such an interesting conversation about his TED Talk, which was on gaming and educating. And now we're going to learn a little bit about what it might be like to clone Gabriel.
The secret.
Double the pay.
Right.
Yeah. But we know that not only are you really passionate about what you do, but you also are working at the Sullivan Center at Lolani School. And I'm curious to understand a little bit more about your personal inspirations, but then also how you've gotten involved with Lolani and what that has really done to progress what you do.
So I mean, the gaming is, of course, gaming has always been a passion of mine. And there was a curriculum developed by a man named Mark Lockridge, and he developed a Scratch learning curriculum, and I assisted with that a little bit, and then I taught a summer course at Iolani with the Scratch learning. So Scratch is it's a tool developed by MIT. It's a free intro to coding. You can make 2D video games in there. It's an amazing tool for just getting your feet wet, learning, it's pretty much connecting logic blocks to decide what you want to do with Scratch. And that was the intro to that. And from there, I got introduction to the Iolani Ohana, the Iolani family, and it was such an amazing group of people that instantly I was like, okay, Sullivan Center opens up, they offered me a position. I was like 2 seconds, like I am on board with this. I will close up my own company for now. I'll shutter it for now. I'm just going to focus on this for now because, like, the whole idea between Sullivan and so it's the Sullivan Center for Innovation and Leadership, and the courses in there and the courses that expand out from there into our other classrooms have been. I mean, like I said, like the drone building program, we have the robotics 1 and 2. So it's not an after-school program; it's part of the curriculum that students can take in the school day, so that they can really focus on it, really take it into depth. And then we same with the video game design. So I get to teach video game design as an elective in the school day, so kids can take. I want to take video game class, right? And then it works out that way.
It sounds so cool.
And what was great about it is because so the shift kind of is changing from just straight rote memorization and that to like project-based learning and all the 21st century skills that you hear about over and over and over again. Like we all hear about them, but in practice, it looks really cool. So if any of you guys ever have a chance, if you ever have a chance to visit Sullivan Center, get a tour. There's some really cool stuff. You can walk through and see kids building robots, building drones. If you go up to the 3rd floor Digital Media Center, which is my classroom. We'll have kids in there during the lunch working on their video games. So they'll come here, eat their lunch, go inside, they'll be working on their video games and programs as they go. So it was such a fun environment that it's home for me.
Wow. I think that sounds like the kind of environment that I wish I went to school in.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
me too.
Yeah, they're very lucky to have you, and a lot of the ideas that you bring in to it too. So I guess, what's maybe your next steps now too? So you are always a busy person, I know that, and doing so many really cool things, but what's the next step now for you?
So I think the next step is, well, the Minecraft thing is just still growing so much. Like there's so many people who want, they want to try it out, test it out. So we're going to be expanding that. Part of Lolani's thing is we want to share with Hawaii and with the world, so our expertise and our everything. So we're going to be sharing that information, sharing those workshops, sharing that, and it's going to be open to anyone who wants to attend. So we're going to be doing the Minecraft workshops. We're going to be more like training and lecture sessions. One of the projects I want to expand. I want to expand the Minecraft thing to being Minecraft and coding. So right now we use Minecraft as an engagement tool to learn. Like the civics and world government. We recently did one on NASA and SpaceX. So in Minecraft, we bought Mars's topography into Minecraft.
Nice.
And then they had to come up with, here's a landing site. They had to build a ship and they had to land it on Mars and then build a Mars colony. So it was really cool. I want to do a lot more stuff like that. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg. I want to see what else they can do. And the ideas come in from the kids.
Right.
So one kid wants to do like, after the Mars one, he wanted to land on an asteroid. I have no idea how he could I don't know how to do that in Minecraft, but we're gonna figure it out because he wants to do it. So we'll figure out how to do that.
Wow.
And so your background though, it's not in education explicitly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So mine was a lot of self-directed learning. So I mean, I did that animation. So my background's more in animation and graphics. So like cinematics, game cinematics, and that kind of stuff. But what I found is, especially in that industry, you teach yourself all the time. So it became like I became an expert in self-directed learning, not because I was traditionally trained in education, but because, I have to ship this product in 2 weeks. I have no idea how to use the software, and you have to learn it right now. So it worked out pretty well. Yeah.
So how much time of your day does it take up? You mentioned that you spent thousands of hours doing certain things.
So a good test of the passion for me has been, okay, I work at it, I do the set up this, I do the work day. And then I come home and I play video games till like 1 a.m, and then I go to bed and then I rinse and repeat. So it works sometimes. And I do find some time to answer emails and stuff in the middle of that. I keep it going. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be working for you, that's for sure. So beyond, I know that you mentioned that you guys wanted to spread this concept worldwide. I think that when we spoke recently, you said that you were doing a conference in London or some kind of
actually,
training.
one of my friends, so one of my colleagues over at Punahou is Doug Hyang. He invited me to join him, and we're going to be working together with Douglas Kang and Shane Asante, which are all three of us incorporate Minecraft in some way in our classrooms. And then from there, we're all going to go to London. So we all get to fly to London and present at Minecon, which is the worldwide Minecraft convention, which is going to be, I think it was 10,000 tickets sold out in a day.
Wow.
So this is like TEDx was my first step, and now my second one's going to be this huge, super big one. So I'm kind of not really pacing myself here, but when the opportunity arises for an opportunity like that, you just have to take it. And just, you know, cross your fingers and.
So are people at that event, are they going to be also educators or
It's going to be everyone. Like anyone with passion in Minecraft. There's going to be a lot of, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's going to be a lot of people who are fans of Minecraft. So these are going to be your strictest critics, right? So if I go up, you know, going up at TEDx and presenting, you know, we're sharing idea. There's some leeway for kind of like, you know, oh, I said that wrong a little bit, but the basic idea is correct. Right. If I'm up on stage at Minecon, those kids are gonna know every block in Minecraft, every patch note, you know, every YouTuber, every celebrity. So it's gonna be, the stakes are higher, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna learn so much in just that small sequence, getting to meet all those live streamers.
Yeah, I think that what is so exciting is that you're not only going to learn, but it seems like even that your idea worth spreading that you brought to our TEDx event. I mean, if you can inspire people at this event in London and bring them back to Hawaii, I mean, that is one of that. I mean, bring all of those great ideas also back here. I know that that's one of the things that at least we've tried to do with TED to have these sort of inspiring.
So one of the great things about the TED community is that, so even on the TED videos and TED, there's all the comments and the forums. I mean, you can interact with other people across distances over a central idea. So maybe that'll be something we can do with the London trip. Of all the people we meet back there, we don't have to spend, you know, $3,000 flying them to Hawaii. We can Skype. We can play Minecraft together, right? We'll just all play Minecraft and then talk about new ideas, and then we'll come up with some, you know, $1 million idea together, and then we'll retire to Hawaii. Then we can fly them to Hawaii.
I think that it sounds like such an effective way of teaching and of really growing our keiki. That, I think that in that way, that spreading your idea is so valuable, and being able to speak in front of these folks at the Minecraft event.
The Minecraft event, and then with TEDx in general, not even just TEDx, like any kind of self-publication now, a student, a fifth grader, right, with parental permission, can change the world. So that should be my new catchphrase, like a fifth grader with parental permission can change the world. Because they can go online, they can have an impassioned plea, they can have an impassioned story, and it can go viral. You know, I'm not a big fan of the word viral, but pretty much it's an idea worth spreading, right? And then it will spread of natural, just, I like this idea, I'm gonna share it to my friend, I'm gonna share it to my friend, I'm gonna share it to my friend. So they get to be publishers, they get to insert themselves into the dialogue that was normally reserved for just adults with a PhD, with a lecture hall, right? So now anyone can do it, who can do it online.
So maybe if you were to tell or do a call out to action to you know, any of our audience members, young students or parents or whoever the case, what would you tell them to do? What kind of call to action would you tell them to do?
I would say find whatever you're most passionate about and start a YouTube channel. Like, you know, if you like drones, if you like knitting, if you like underwater basket weaving, like make a YouTube channel and you will find thousands of people who are just as passionate as you are. And they will share their ideas, and you can share your ideas with them, and it'll be I mean, you know, I'm gonna look up underwater basket weaving on YouTube as soon as we get home, because I'm gonna go out Makapu'u Lighthouse side and I'll start weaving. I'll come up with a new class. There you go.
So aside from what you're planning for next, I know that you recently actually did a workshop here in Hawaii with Kamehameha Schools on our Hawaii Island campus. And I imagine it tied in.
It was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun. Like I was able to go visit Kamehameha Schools Hilo, and I was able to give, you know, to that Hokulea Worldwide Voyage Hupua'a workshop with the students there in their summer program. And it was a totally different experience and a totally new experience, seeing, you know, some of the students in the class having expert knowledge in it, right? So they already know all the words, they know all the terminologies, they know all the history, and suddenly they're the superstar of the entire class. So everyone's listening to the student. I mean, you know, they can explore, they can do all that stuff, but it's not just, you know, the teacher has the answers. Hey, you know, what was the answer for that? Oh, that's awesome. And in a situation like that, it's okay. So unlike, you know, you're not allowed to talk to your classmates or anything like that, everyone was working together, everyone was working, you know, how we're going to build this in Minecraft, and they were able to build like entire hupuas. So expanded even more. They did entire islands in that
Wow.
workshop, which was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. Definitely going to do it again. So next year, come here with girls. You guys can come hang out with us at Lolani and we'll do the workshop here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I know. I still haven't gotten to tour the Sullivan Center, so I think I might be taking you up.
Right.
on-
So as soon as we're done here, we'll head on over.
And learn Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah.
And so, are you actually from? Are you?
Yeah, so I was actually born and raised on Maui. I went to Kikekaulikia High School. And I had some amazing teachers growing up there. So we had a really good AP and honors program. Got to graduate from there. I wanted to stay in state, so I kind of stayed in state to save money. And then from there, we went over the business and all that stuff there. So it's very interesting, very central to like Hawaii-centric experience. So haven't gotten to travel too much, but it'd be a fun experience. Actually, now that they have the Oculus Rift, I'll just put on the goggles,
Right.
go to Google Street View.
Right.
I have the Google Cardboard now, which is a cardboard fold out.
Right.
It's like $2 of materials to make virtual reality goggles. And I can go on Google Street View, so I can save myself the flight to the 6-hour flight and go hang out.
This is completely new to me. I don't know.
Oh, so
I feel so antiquated. Actually, I'm like
yeah.
way behind.
So actually, yeah. So we've even built the Sullivan Center in Minecraft. Like the picture up right now is we had the Oculus Rift with the virtual reality goggles, and they built the Sullivan Center. So they built their own classroom in Minecraft and put a roller coaster through it, so that they could, all the new students that come through, they get to do a roller coaster ride through Lolani School.
Wow.
And that was the students' ideas, students' project. All I had to do was say, yes, go right ahead. And it turned out to be one of our coolest projects to date.
Wow, that's so fascinating. Did you guys use that similar technology in like planning and designing the building? Do you know?
Oh, not yet, but
Yeah.
recently, so the Sullivan Center hosts a lot of events. Recently we had the Honolulu Mini Maker Fair. And at the event, there were a bunch of people with all kinds of, robotics, 3D printing, fabrication, cosplay. But there's even one that they had the virtual reality, the DK2, which is the virtual reality goggles. And they had it for architecture and interior design. So you put the goggles on, you go through a room that hasn't been built yet, and you can swap out furniture, walls, and everything like that on the fly, which I think was a pretty cool tech. I'm not familiar with what is existing on the market right now, but I was blown away by that.
That's so fascinating. I'm an urban planner by trade, so
Yeah.
I'm always sort of curious about ways that we can better design our
I need to
spaces.
ask you, so I want to do a Minecraft workshop where you do an urban city planning.
Oh my goodness.
So we want to remap, so I have the topographical data for Honolulu. I want to put that in Minecraft and have the students kind of restructure and remap where stuff is to see if it would be cooler or better, right? What would happen if we had the Alawai open up back to the ocean? Or like those big questions that you can't possibly like test in real life.
Wow.
Like, try it out. Like, see, like, could we make the Alawai clean again
Right.
using robotics? So right now at Lolani School, we have the Alawai Cat project, which is launched by Gilson and Matt, who are engineers in the first floor, so they teach the robotics courses. And the Alawai Cat is a robot that we put in the Alawai that monitors and tests water quality and stuff like that. And that's the project that they're working on with the students down on the first floor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be one. And then imagine, so pair that project, so that's going to be the upper school students working with high-level robotics. The lower school students can get involved, and they can do a test like, okay, let's see what happens, if we were to exit out, have a water exit for the other side of the Alawai, or what could we, how do you solve the Alawai problem? Right? And then just let them go. Like, don't even preface them with like, there's a problem. Like, here's the Alawai. What would you do with it, right? And they're like, let's build a water slide on the Alawai. And then they'll be like, okay, we want to add a water slide to the Alawai. How do we prevent people from dying when that happens? Right?
Well, I love actually the idea of a water slide on the Alawai, and we're gonna
10
have
years
to
from now,
save
let's
that.
do it.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have to save that for one of our next shows. Thank you so much for being here with TEDx Honolulu, behind the scenes and beyond the talks. Here with Gabriel Yanagihara and Genesis Leong. It's been fantastic.